Good day, grade 8. Welcome to the next lesson of maths. We are continuing with common fractions. Today we're going to learn about three different types of fractions. The first is the proper fraction, which is the one you are used to. That's a normal fraction, where you have a smaller numerator and a bigger denominator. These are how fractions should be. We should always have a smaller number and then on top of a bigger number. It's an improper fraction when you have a bigger numerator and a smaller denominator, like 7 over 4. This is improper. It's not how we like to leave our answers. So most of the time, in a question involving fractions, unless it says leave it in an improper fraction, you should know never to leave it as an improper fraction. You should change it, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. So unless they say leave it as an improper fraction, don't. You can change it to an improper fraction in the sum to work it out, but your final answer should never be an improper fraction. We don't like it. We don't like the bigger number on top. Think of it this way. The two are standing on top of each other. Now, if you have two kids standing on top of each other, do you want the bigger, heavier kid on top? No, he's going to crush the smaller kid. We always like to have the smaller kid on top. Same with fractions. We do not like to have the bigger number on top. It's going to crush the smaller number. Okay. The next type of fraction, third and last, is a mixed number or a mixed fraction. That is when you have a whole number and a fraction, like 2 3/4. Okay, so there is a number and a fraction. We don't mind mixed fractions, so we prefer mixed fractions to improper fractions. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to convert between the two. We'll need to know this when we go into our later sums. For now, we're just going to see how to convert between the two. So first I'm going to show you how to convert from an improper to a mixed fraction, because as I said, you always want your final answer in a mixed fraction. So you're always going to want to convert it if it's improper. If it's not improper, if it's proper, then you just leave it. Only if the bigger one's at top do you need to change it. Okay, how do we do this? You ask how many times can the denominator fit into the numerator. So how many times can 3 fit into 7? Well, let's count in multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9. 9 is too big. So we stopped at 6. So that means 2. If you count on your fingers, that's 2 times. I'll do it again. 3, 6. So you literally count on your fingers. You do your multiples while counting on your fingers. And we stopped at 6, which is the second one. So how many times can 3 fit into 7? Let me just change this. Which is 2 times. But there is 1 left over. Okay, and we use these numbers here. 2 times is 1 left over. So 2 is going to be our whole number. The leftover becomes our numerator, and the denominator stays the same. Let's try this with a few other examples just very quickly before we move on. Okay, so let's try 8 over 5. Okay, how many times can 8 go into 5? Let's see. So let's do this in our heads. Okay, so count from 5, 5, 10. So 10 is too big. So it can only fit in once. And how much is left over? Let's think. How much is left over? Well, if we only count to 5, 8 minus 5 means there is 3 left over. And our denominator stays the same, a fifth. Okay, so again, how many times did 5 fit into 8? Once with 3 left over. Let's try another one. Okay. Just excuse me a second. Being a bit irritating. Okay, let's try this now. Let me just make this a bit smaller. There we go. Okay. I'm actually just going to copy and paste this so I don't have to copy and paste each time. Okay, so let's take 20 over 3. That's a nice big one. Okay, so let's count in threes until we get to 20. And remember, use your fingers. So I've got my fingers up. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 21. So 21 is too high, so I go back. So I stopped at 18. How many fingers should you have up? You should have 6. So it is 6. Okay, and what's left over? Well, remember, we said it's 18. So 20 minus 18 means 2. And then the denominator stays the same, 3. So we get 6 and 2/3. Remember, this can never be bigger than the denominator. Okay, let's try one more. So let us try now, let's make it 16 over 4. Okay, so 16 over 4, let's count in fours. 4, 8, 12, 16. So it's 4. And this time there's not even any left over. So we can stop at 4, because 16 over 4 actually does equal 4. How else can we realize this? Well, if we were to simplify it, divide both sides by 4, what would we get? 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. And remember I said in the previous section, if anything is over 1, it is the same as 4. Okay, so this just actually equals 4. So sometimes you can be left with a whole number if there are no remainders. Okay, so that's how you do improper fraction to mixed fraction. Okay, now I'm going to show you the vice versa, how to do a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Why do we need this? Because sometimes when we are doing sums, it's easier to work with an improper one. It's not for our final answer, but it'll be part of our working out, so we do need it. Okay, so we have 3 and 2/5. Basically, you multiply the whole number by the denominator, so there's the whole number, by the denominator times 5, so 3 times 5, and you just add the numerator. It's always like that. So always multiply whole number by denominator and add numerator. And 15, so 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. That is your new numerator. The denominator will always stay the same, so it becomes 17 over 5. Let's see some similar ones like that. Okay, so let's say we have, let's take 1 and 3 over 4. So remember, we multiply the whole times 4. So 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3. So what is 1 plus 4? That is 4 plus 3 gives me 8. So it's 8 over, 4 plus 3, sorry, 7. 7 over 4. Okay, so that gives us 7 over 4. So it is always the same. Let's try another one now. Let's try a slightly bigger one. So let's try 11 times 9 over 1. Okay, what is 11 times 9? That is 99 plus 1, 100. And remember, my denominator stays the same, so it's 100 over 9. Okay, so this one's actually a little easier than the previous one. It's just a multiplication and a plus. Always the same. Okay, not too difficult. Now for homework, I want you to do C1, 2, 4 and D1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 4, as in not 1, 2, and 4, but 1 to the number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So C is converting them to mixed numbers, D is converting them back to improper fractions, and F is arrange the following in descending order. What is descending? Well, if you're descending down a story, you're going from the top to the bottom. So from biggest to smallest. You have to tell me which is the biggest fraction and which is the smallest. And I don't want you to guess. I want you to convert these all to equivalent fractions. So I want you to make them have all the same denominator. Although you'll have to convert your mixed fraction to a improper. So first you'll convert the mixed one to an improper, and then you'll make sure they all have the same denominator. So you have to find a number that they can all times into, and then convert them all to the denominator, and then you can rearrange them in order. So once you convert them, then you can see which is the original. So this is a bit of a trick question. I want to see those of you who can do it. You have to show me working out. If you just give me the answer, you're going to get 0. You have to show me some kind of working out, but I will show you how to do it properly in the answers over Zoom when we do get to it. Okay, but I want you guys to try it yourselves. And this is where I will end this lesson. Next time we will look at how to do sums with fractions. I will see you guys for the next lesson.